Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. Galactic Command ignored Earth. Now humanity holds all the power. The quantum resonance array hummed with an unsettling frequency, its crystalline sensors trembling at the edge of comprehension. Admiral Camira Sorensen leaned forward, her weathered hands gripping the edge of the observation console at Outpost Meridian, a research station perched on the razor's edge of known space. "Repeat the scan," she ordered, her voice a low command that cut through the ambient noise of the monitoring station. The outpost's chief scientist, Dr. Freya Lindholm, nodded, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces that shimmered like captured starlight. Meridian Station hung in the void, a metallic construct of gleaming alloys and advanced sensor arrays. Located at the furthest reach of human exploration, it served as humanity's most advanced early warning system against potential extraterrestrial threats. For the past decade, Camira had commanded this frontier outpost, watching, waiting, and preparing for something few believed would ever come. The quantum resonance array was her obsession, a sophisticated network of sensors designed to detect the most minute disturbances in spacetime. Most of her colleagues considered it an expensive piece of technological paranoia. Camira knew better. "Anomaly confirmed," Dr. Lindholm announced, her voice suddenly tight. "But this is different." The holographic display erupted with a complex geometric pattern, fractal and impossible, like mathematics given visual form. Streams of data cascaded around the central image, numbers and symbols that seemed to pulse with an organic rhythm. Camira's augmented neural interface flickered, processing the incoming information. She had seen countless sensor readings during her 30-year career in the interstellar reconnaissance fleet, but nothing like this. "It's not just a spatial disturbance," she muttered, more to herself than to her crew. "It's communicating." The quantum array had been designed to detect potential interdimensional breaches, a theoretical threat that most scientific communities dismissed as pure speculation. Yet here was evidence that suggested something was attempting to breach the barriers between realities. Dr. Lindholm zoomed in on a specific section of the data stream. "The quantum signature doesn't match any known stellar phenomenon. It's almost like a message." Camira's cybernetic eye, a replacement after a skirmish decades ago, began to pulse with a soft blue light, interfacing directly with the station's advanced computational systems. Her augmentations, cutting edge when first installed, now felt almost primitive compared to the complexity of the data streaming before them. "Prepare communication protocols," she commanded. "We're going to try and decode this." The crew moved with practiced efficiency. Technicians in sleek environmental suits began routing additional power to the quantum resonance array. Backup systems engaged, creating redundant capture mechanisms to ensure no fragment of the mysterious transmission was lost. What they didn't know, what they couldn't yet understand, was that the message was more than just a random cosmic signal. It was a warning, a harbinger of something that had been waiting, watching, calculating its moment of emergence. Camira Sorensen had spent her entire career preparing for first contact, but nothing in her extensive training could have prepared her for what was about to unfold. The quantum array suddenly pulsed, a brilliant cascade of light that momentarily blinded every sensor and interface in the station. When the system stabilized, something had fundamentally changed. "Commander," Dr. Lindholm's voice quivered, "we're receiving a complete transmission, but it's not like anything in our communication protocols." The holographic display transformed. No longer a chaotic stream of data, it now presented a structured sequence, geometric, precise, and undeniably artificial. It wasn't just a message, it was an invitation. And somewhere deep in the vast darkness between stars, something ancient and patient began to stir. Camira Sorensen understood in that moment that humanity's understanding of the universe was about to be irrevocably changed. The frontier was no longer just a physical boundary, it had become a threshold to something incomprehensible. "Full analytical protocol," she ordered, her voice steady despite the electric anticipation coursing through her veins. "And get me a direct quantum-encrypted link to Galactic Command. Now." The underground network hummed with subdued energy, a labyrinth of interconnected tunnels and hidden chambers beneath the surface of Proxima 9, a seemingly unremarkable colony whirled on the galactic periphery. Dr. Ravi Patel moved silently through the dimly lit corridors, his fingers tracing the intricate bioelectric panels embedded in the walls, a testament to technologies far more advanced than the planet's official records would suggest. Proxima 9 appeared to be a standard mining colony, its surface scarred by industrial extraction and populated by what seemed to be simple laborers and environmental technicians. The truth was far more complex and far more dangerous. Containment breach in Sector 3, a soft voice whispered through Ravi's neural implant. Myrna, the Resistance Network's primary AI coordinator, spoke with an eerily human cadence. Adaptive camouflage is holding, but we're approaching critical compromise. Ravi's hands moved with practiced precision, pulling up holographic schematics that flickered between multiple layers of reality. What looked like simple mining equipment to an outside observer was actually an elaborate network of defensive systems, each component designed to appear mundane while concealing extraordinary capabilities. The colony had been preparing for decades, not for a conventional invasion, but for something far more insidious, a cosmic threat that most of the galaxy remained blissfully unaware existed. Status of the quantum dampening field, Ravi muttered, his voice barely above a whisper. Operational at 87.3%, Myrna responded. But the recent quantum resonance from the Meridian outpost is causing interference. We're detecting harmonic disruptions that weren't in our predictive models. Ravi understood the implications immediately. Something was changing. The delicate balance they had maintained for generations was shifting. The Resistance had its origins in a brutal conflict nearly 2 centuries ago. When first contact occurred, humanity discovered it was woefully unprepared for the complexities of galactic politics. The initial encounters had been devastating, entire colonies wiped out, technological infrastructure crushed beneath the weight of superior alien civilizations. But humanity had learned, more importantly, they had adapted. Proxima 9 was more than just a colony. It was a fortress, a living, breathing organism of resistance carefully disguised as a mundane industrial world. Every rock, every piece of machinery, every seemingly simple piece of equipment contained layers of technological sophistication that would shock even the most advanced alien reconnaissance teams. Ravi approached a massive geological scanning array. To any external sensor, it appeared to be a standard mining tool. In reality, it was a complex quantum entanglement device capable of monitoring interdimensional fluctuations across multiple star systems. Myrna, he said, run a full spectrum analysis. I want to know exactly what triggered that quantum resonance. The AI's response was immediate. Holographic displays erupted around Ravi, showing complex mathematical models that danced and shifted like living organisms. Star charts overlaid with quantum probability matrices, gravitational anomaly tracking, and deep space communication interference patterns. Something was coming, something that had been patient for far too long. A sudden alarm, soft but insistent, broke Ravi's concentration. One of the outer perimeter sensors had detected an anomalous energy signature, not an invasion, not yet, but a probe, a reconnaissance. Activate phase gamma, Ravi commanded. Initiate adaptive camouflage protocols. Around him, the entire underground complex began to shift. Molecular reconfiguration systems came online, changing the very molecular structure of the environment. What had been a high-tech resistance base would now appear to be nothing more than standard mining infrastructure. Humanity's greatest weapon had always been its ability to hide in plain sight. The quantum probe, wherever it had originated, would find nothing out of the ordinary. Just another unremarkable colony world going about its mundane existence. But beneath the surface, Dr. Ravi Patel and the Resistance continued their vigil, waiting, preparing, knowing that when the true threat arrived, they would be ready. In the depths of the underground complex, a massive data core pulsed with energy. Centuries of collected intelligence, technological innovations, and survival strategies compressed into a network that was part computer, part living organism. The Resistance had learned from every encounter, every defeat, every near-extinction event. And they were far from defeated. The quantum research facility existed simultaneously in 3 different dimensional states, a technological marvel that defied conventional understanding of space and matter. Lieutenant Zara Nomura stood at the central nexus, her augmented eyes tracking multiple holographic displays that shimmered like living light. Dimensional stability at 94.7%, announced Dr. Hiroshi Watanabe, the facility's lead quantum physicist. His voice carried the measured calm of someone who had long since stopped being surprised by the impossible. Quantum Station Omega hung in a carefully constructed pocket of spacetime, suspended between reality and something entirely more complex. From the outside, it would appear as nothing more than a minor astronomical anomaly, a trick of light and gravitational distortion. Its true nature remained hidden, much like humanity's most profound technological secrets. Zara's neural interface hummed with incoming data streams. The recent quantum resonance detected by Meridian Outpost had set off a cascade of investigations across their hidden network of research facilities. Something was changing. The fundamental fabric of spacetime was experiencing unprecedented fluctuations. Analyze the resonance pattern again, Zara commanded. Her background in quantum mechanics and interdimensional warfare made her uniquely qualified to lead this investigation. The facility wasn't just a research station. It was humanity's first line of defense against threats that existed beyond conventional understanding. Dr. Watanabe's fingers danced across holographic interfaces. Impossible geometric patterns emerged, mathematical representations of something that existed between known physical laws. The resonance is unlike anything in our historical database, he muttered. It's not just a communication, it's a probe, a complex quantum-level investigation of our dimensional boundaries. The station's core began to pulse, a soft blue light that seemed to breathe with its own consciousness. Quantum entanglement systems stretched across multiple research modules, each designed to detect the slightest perturbation in the cosmic fabric. Zara understood what most didn't. Humanity's greatest weapon was not its technology, but its ability to adapt. The Quantum Research Facility represented generations of preparation, a silent guardian watching the boundaries of known reality. Initiate dimensional mapping protocol, she ordered. The station's massive quantum cores began to spin, creating a complex multidimensional scan that would map every potential intrusion point. Something was trying to breach their reality, something patient, something ancient. A sudden alarm, soft but insistent, broke the facility's carefully maintained calm. One of the quantum sensors had detected an anomalous energy signature that didn't just breach dimensional boundaries, it seemed to rewrite them. Quantum intrusion detected, Dr. Watanabe announced, his voice suddenly tight. But this is different. The holographic displays erupted with a complex geometric pattern, fractal and impossible, like mathematics given visual form. Streams of data cascaded around the central image, numbers and symbols that seemed to pulse with an organic rhythm. Zara's augmented neural interface began to process the incoming information. Each data stream represented a potential dimensional pathway, a possible point of contact with something that existed beyond human comprehension. It's not just a dimensional disturbance, she muttered, it's communicating. The quantum cores began to resonate at a frequency that seemed to make reality itself vibrate. What had been a controlled research environment now became something more, a potential gateway to understanding a threat that had been waiting, watching, calculating its moment of emergence. Full defensive protocols, Zara commanded. Around her, the facility's hidden defensive systems came online, technology so advanced it appeared almost magical. Quantum entanglement shields, dimensional stabilization matrices, and adaptive camouflage systems prepared to defend against an intrusion that defied traditional understanding of warfare. Something was coming, something that had been patient for far too long. In the depths of Quantum Station Omega, a massive data core pulsed with energy. Centuries of collected intelligence, technological innovations, and survival strategies compressed into a network that was part computer, part living organism. Humanity had learned, humanity had prepared. And now they would face whatever emerged from the quantum threshold. The Nexus diplomatic platform drifted silently between star systems, a massive construct that appeared to be nothing more than an elaborate deep space research station. Captain Dmitry Volkov knew better. Every centimeter of the platform was a carefully designed instrument of strategic observation, diplomacy, and defense. Incoming quantum encrypted transmission, announced Operative Kira Solarin, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces that shimmered like captured starlight. Source is unusual. Dmitry approached the central command hub, his cybernetic eye a replacement from a long-forgotten conflict, scanning the incoming data streams. The platform's advanced sensors could detect communication signatures that would remain invisible to conventional detection systems. The Nexus was humanity's most sophisticated diplomatic outpost, a place where information was the most valuable currency, and preparation was an art form perfected over generations. What appeared to be a standard deep space negotiation platform was actually a complex web of intelligence gathering, technological assessment, and strategic positioning. "Patch it through," Dmitri commanded. The holographic display came to life, revealing fragmented data that seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. It wasn't a standard communication. It was a quantum-level information probe that carried layers of meaning beyond conventional language. "Analyze the transmission pattern," he said to Kira. "Cross-reference with the quantum resonance data from Meridian Outpost and the Quantum Research Facility." The platform's massive computational cores began to work, weaving together information collected from humanity's most advanced hidden research stations. Each piece of data was a thread in a complex tapestry of preparation, a silent vigil against a threat that most of the galaxy remained unaware existed. Operative Solarin's expression changed. "Captain, this isn't just a communication, it's a multi-dimensional information matrix. Someone or something is mapping our defensive capabilities." Dmitri understood the implications immediately. The recent quantum resonance was more than just a random cosmic signal. It was a sophisticated probe, testing the boundaries of human technological capabilities. "Activate Shadow Protocol," he ordered. Around them, the Nexus platform began to transform. What had appeared to be standard diplomatic infrastructure started to shift, molecular reconfiguration systems coming online, adaptive camouflage technologies blurring the lines between observation and defense. Humanity had learned long ago that the greatest weapon was not military might, but the ability to remain undetected, to observe, to prepare. The incoming transmission continued to break down, revealing fragments of information that suggested a complex intelligence was attempting to understand their systems. Not an invasion, not yet, but a careful, methodical investigation. "Cross-reference the transmission signature with our xenolinguistic databases," Dmitri commanded. "I want to know if this matches any known communication patterns." Kira's fingers moved with practiced precision. Holographic displays erupted around them, showing complex linguistic models, quantum communication patterns, and deep space interference analyses. Something was changing. The delicate balance they had maintained for generations was shifting. A soft alarm, almost imperceptible, broke the command hub's carefully maintained calm. One of the long-range quantum sensors had detected an anomalous energy signature that didn't just push against known physical laws, it seemed to rewrite them. "Defensive systems are tracking multiple quantum intrusion points," Kira announced. Her voice carried a mix of professional calm and underlying tension. "But these aren't standard dimensional breaches. It's like someone or something is testing our boundaries." Dimitri's cybernetic eye began to process the incoming data at speeds that would overwhelm standard human perception. Layers of information revealed themselves, complex patterns that suggested a patient, calculating intelligence. "Prepare full diplomatic encryption protocols," he ordered, "and put the entire hidden network on high alert." The Nexus platform continued its silent drift through space, a fortress of information and preparation. To any external observer, it would appear to be nothing more than a standard deep space research station. The truth was far more complex. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for generations, waiting, watching, learning from every encounter, every near-extinction event. And they were far from defenseless. The Galactic Research Hub hung in the delicate balance between known space and the infinite unknown, a massive construct that was part observatory, part defensive stronghold, and part last bastion of hope for an entire species. Researcher Elena Rodriguez stood at the central convergence point, where multiple layers of reality seemed to fold and unfold around her. "Quantum resonance is reaching critical threshold," announced the facility's primary AI, a distributed intelligence named Oracle. Its voice carried no emotion, only precise calculation. Dimensional integrity approaching maximum stress point. Elena's hands moved across holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with living energy. The recent quantum signals detected across multiple hidden research stations had converged into something more, a complex pattern that suggested not just communication, but a fundamental challenge to the nature of reality itself. For generations, humanity had prepared, not through military might but through patience, through understanding, through the quiet accumulation of knowledge that remained hidden from potential threats. The Singularity Protocol was more than just a defensive strategy. It was humanity's ultimate insurance policy, a multi-generational plan that had been quietly implemented across countless worlds, research stations, and hidden colonies. Oracle, Elena commanded, cross-reference the quantum resonance patterns with the archived xenological database. The facility's massive computational cores began to pulse. Centuries of collected intelligence, fragments of encounters, theoretical models, and carefully preserved data from near-extinction events began to converge. What emerged was not a simple communication, it was a challenge. Something ancient was testing the boundaries of human capability, not through direct confrontation, but through a complex multi-dimensional probe that pushed against the very fabric of spacetime. The research hub was humanity's ultimate observation point. What appeared to be a standard deep space research facility was actually a complex network of defensive systems, adaptive technologies, and information-gathering mechanisms so advanced they bordered on the mystical. Dimensional mapping shows multiple intrusion points, Oracle reported, but these are not standard breaches. It's as if something is attempting to understand our fundamental nature. Alina understood what most didn't. Humanity's greatest strength had never been its technology, but its ability to adapt, to learn, to prepare. The quantum resonance continued to build, creating complex geometric patterns that danced between holographic displays, mathematical representations of something that existed beyond conventional understanding of physics, communication, and existence itself. Activate Singularity Protocol Stage 3, Alina ordered. Around her, the research hub began to transform. Molecular reconfiguration systems came online. Adaptive camouflage technologies blurred the lines between observation and defense. What had been a research facility became something more, a living, breathing system of preparation and protection. The incoming quantum signal was not an invasion. Not yet, it was a test, a probe, a complex investigation of humanity's capabilities, boundaries, and potential. Oracle, Elena said quietly, begin comprehensive analysis of the quantum resonance origin point. The AI's response was immediate. Quantum cores began to spin, creating a multidimensional scan that would map every potential point of contact, every possible avenue of intrusion. Something was coming, something that had been patient for far too long. But humanity had been patient too. Generations of preparation had led to this moment. Hidden technologies, carefully maintained secrets. A species that had learned to survive by becoming masters of adaptation and concealment. The quantum resonance reached its peak. For a moment, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. And then something shifted. In the depths of the Galactic Research Hub, a massive data core pulsed with energy. Centuries of collected intelligence, technological innovations, and survival strategies compressed into a network that was part computer, part living organism. Humanity had learned, humanity had prepared. And now they would face whatever emerged from the quantum threshold. The singularity was approaching, and they would be ready.